Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels and short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning.
Dang it. Brandy, always beating me. Beating me. Good morning, guys.
Happy Friday. Yes, this is pre-recorded because it is the busiest week in vacation rentals next week, July 4th. Happy holiday week, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, best of luck if this is one of your big, busy weekends. I hope you're all caffeinated and ready for what's coming.
And not to rub it in, I'm going to be off on the 3rd through the 4th, having a good old time. So sorry if you're not and you're working on the busiest time, but it's the best holiday of the year. So I'm excited. I'm excited. No, I know. Sorry, I didn't mean it. I hope you guys really get a lot of rest. I hope you're really encouraged for a great, busy,
I hope
weekend.
all your guests behave.
Yes, that too. I hope no one has any crazy parties. So good luck. May the force be with you. No, but all good. So we are pre-recording. Happy Friday, as Michael said, and some fun topics today. Brandy, how was the week, though? Before we get into all the fun stuff, it seems like we're all keeping busy.
Yeah, the week is good. You know, I normally have like a pretty crazy summer lined up, but it's actually pretty chill right now. So trying to do some like self-care, some home projects, just keeping it low key.
And where's Mia today?
Mia is hiding underneath my bed. So unfortunately, She is not making an appearance behind me today.
Dang it. Hopefully she'll find her perch throughout the episode. That's my goal. Golden, how about you? How's the week?
It's good. I was out in Arizona, as we all found out on Monday last week, but had a good time, nice and hot, but not too bad. And home now, ready for the holiday week.
Yes, same.
The kiddos getting excited about fireworks and all the festivities.
Barbecuing. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we had some fun, exciting news to share this week. It wasn't the most like crazy news, but it was very fun and exciting because the three of us are going to Mexico, baby. Let's go. So it's just gonna be like Barcelona all over again. The three of us. The trio is back.
Brandy translating for us the whole time.
I know.
Lovely.
Listen, the Spanish comes in handy sometimes.
And I've heard incredible things about Guestival for the 10 years I've been in the industry. And for all sorts of reasons, I've never been able to attend. And so I'm super excited to get there. It's a lot closer this time being in Mexico City. So that the convenience factor is a home run. And yeah, I'm excited. I've heard they host quite the conference, but even more so have heck of parties on that.
I can attest to that. The last time we were in a foreign country together, I had just come from Guestival, and I was like, this is hands down the best conference I've been to. I know it's not like the main reason you go to a conference, but the food was the best conference food I've had. And there's nothing worse than when you go to like the dreaded lunch and in the windowless, conference hall that's just with the gray food that's been sitting in those containers. It's just awful.
Bread.
Yeah. And they really knocked it out of the park last time. And the set, everything, the production was incredible. So they set a high bar from the last time in Tel Aviv. So I'm sure the Guesty team will deliver again. And I'm super pumped because Mexico City is easily one of my favorite cities in the world. I've been a bunch of times. It's just like, I'm so excited for the restaurants.
Yes.
And the guys are letting me pick all the places we go to eat again. So I'm pumped about that. I have a list.
100%.
It's going to be great.
Brandy wine experience on the road overseas. It's a real thing. I'm really excited because it's like good to hang out with you guys again. But for the listeners, Guest Eval is in Mexico City, September 10th through the 12th. So if you're a Guesty customer, you should obviously be attending. It's for Guesty users. It's their user conference. But if you're not a user of Guesty and have been interested, this is a great way to get exposed to that ecosystem and others that are using it and get to ask questions. So I'm excited they let us become the official podcast partner. Plus, I think we need to have a couple moderations on stage, a couple other little fun, exciting conversations to have at the event. So shout out to Guesty for bringing in Good Morning Hospitality to have them, step up that conference game a little bit with some media.
Yeah, and I do have to say, go ahead.
Unlike some of the other user conferences, you don't have to be a user to go to Guest Eval, so it's open for everybody. If you enjoy the space, want to learn more, not just about Guesty, but obviously the industry experts. They've already stacked up quite a list of great speakers. I think it'll be worthwhile and always a good time. Kickoff conferences.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing. Even if you obviously if you are a Guesty user, it's great because you could just talk to other users, kind of troubleshoot, get ideas and inspiration. But then if you're on the fence, if you're going through your sales process, this is a great time to really get all of your questions out in person and not just ask your sales rep, but different people who work in the company, different people, different operators and different people within their company. So you can kind of see the whole system and how it works and people's experience. So and they do throw really incredible parties. So that's which is important in the conference game.
It's Mexico City. You got to have a good party with it. I'm sure there's going to be tons of margaritas flying around the room. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. So shout out to Guesty. And also just another shout out. If you, like Michael said, aren't a member or a user of Guesty, it's really cool because if you've heard, us talking about Steve Schwab on the show or having Steve on the show or any of these bigger brand names with Costco and Vicasa or any other name out there, you're probably going to see them on stage. So it's a really good opportunity to get in the room with the big players and people that are making moves and changes in the industry. So it's just a good all around conference. I'm excited. Can't wait for Mexico City. All right, you two. So we had some interesting articles pop up as we were prepping for this episode. One that we kind of thought we would have seen maybe a little bit sooner, and is the transition of Sonder's CEO and founder transitioning out of the business and chairperson named the new intermediate boss. So, Brandy, you're in the multi-family space. It's just natural to talk to you about it. So, thoughts around this?
Yeah. So, Davidson leaving now it's interesting because like we said, they've been kind of publicly embattled for quite some time. I give him credit for hanging on for as long. Usually, once you kind of make these bigger leaps through different rounds of funding, going public, the leadership team usually gets rotated out for people that have the experience. And especially when things aren't going well, you want someone who has experience righting a ship. So congratulations for hanging on this long. And also, we are critical a lot of the decisions that they've made, but they've run a business for this long. It takes a lot of, intelligence and grit to kind of muscle through some of these really difficult times. So hopefully he's enjoying the money that he's made and taking some time off, and with their, the new leadership, maybe they can right the ship, because it's definitely been difficult for Sonder over there.
Yeah. I'm sure with the Marriott deal, there's got to be some pressure in order to really start performing now. So I'm sure this is kind of one of those things. It's look, I know as a founder, I don't want to be the CEO forever, right? As a founder, you kind of want to be vision and not operator, CEO reporting to the board all the time. So I don't know. I think it's probably a good transition, and let a hired gun come in and truly make the company what it needs to be for the expectations that are set by Marriott or other stakeholders.
Yeah, the accomplishments are certainly there. Building a company from zero, from when you were in college up to going public and then signing 20-year contracts with Marriott. Like, kudos to all the successes. The flip side is I am, just given where the stock price is, absolutely shocked that he was able to hold on this long post IPO. That I don't know Francis personally, but that must be a testament to his command and understanding and smarts to be able to hang on that long. So good luck in whatever's next, Francis. I think this marks a new era for the space too, because it took, once Eric Brion was out at Vacasa, it took 2 years or so, and then they ended up selling, something like that. I've got my timelines wrong. Somebody can fact check me, but it might be too little, too late at this point. I hope not. Again, we all root for the companies in the space to succeed. I hope they can figure it out and right the track, but only time will tell.
Well, it's kind of crazy if you just look at, like you were saying, the era that we're in right now. It's completely changing. Vacasa now under Casa Go, Sonder now going under new leadership. Brands are constantly going through some stuff, and I know the three of us are seeing the writing on the wall, right? Where there's just a lot of change happening in the space, in private conversations and in public ones on podcasts like this or platforms like this. And it really is a shift. It's a shift across the industry. Robin Craig, and even selling a majority stake of Moving Mountains and other things like this. It's a interesting period to watch. So it's been really cool to,
And
go ahead,
Michael. And one of the darlings of the industry when I started 10 years ago in the space was a company called OneFineStay. And OneFineStay, if you're unfamiliar, plays in the super luxury space. They started out, they did some master leasing, but they took a pretty healthy 40% management fee. Built some of the best city center properties globally. They ended up selling to Accor. Again, timelines might be wrong here, 5-6 years ago. And since then, when they sold, they had 7,000 listings. And today they're at 3,000 listings. So they've continued to churn. So they sold in 2016, so 9 years ago. And then they've been
just a little off, Michael, just a little off.
6-9 years. Yeah. Everything pre-COVID is just an entire generation away.
Yeah. But
so
I also,
it was the pre-COVID era.
the transition from 7,000 to 3,000 listings, I have to imagine there's also, during that time, there was this huge push for growth at all costs, get whatever listings, get whatever inventory you can get. And so I, hoping that kind of significant downsizing is that those are the best listings, and that they were kind of, with the new ownership, getting rid of the frothy, fluffy stuff that was just there to, put a number on a pitch deck.
100%. And for the true GMH loyalists who listen to not just us, but our GMH EU group or any of our other GMH sections, Leo, who is obviously with our European group, he was early with OneFineStay, and I just reached out to him on WhatsApp and was like, hey, we're covering this on the show. Any comments or anything that we should know? And one of the things he was like, yeah, they've always been a business of service. That's what they're truly at. Their core business is service. It was never volume. So to that point, 7,000 listings to 3,000 shows they were never about volume. They're always about service. And so it's interesting to see how this is kind of shifted throughout the time of, the transition with the core and, everything that goes into it. So it's been, interesting to see. And I hope that this deal, I guess, makes sense. We'll see.
And the reason we're talking about OneFineStay is because they've just been acquired by Exclusive Resorts from Accor. So they're taking a majority share of OneFineStay, and Exclusive Resorts, for those who are unfamiliar, is a members club. They own a bunch of super high-end real estate globally. So it's blending the luxury and service that OneFineStay has known to have, and blending it with this members club. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out, because exclusive resorts properties are typically not listed on the OTAs. It is
very exclusive, as the name would suggest.
It is basically a real estate country club where you can go travel the world, stay in super nice places, and it's kind of shut off to the rest of the world. I think there's 4,500 families that are part of the club, the membership. So OneFineStay could mark a signal for them wanting to monetize their existing inventory outside of their membership base, which then kind of
defeats the purpose of the membership base.
It makes it less exclusive. That very fair, but it opens up an entire channel of everyone else in the world besides those 4,500 people.
Yeah, it's like a sub brand, basically. And when we were doing some research for the show, I was looking at their website, and those properties are so nice. I would want that. If I was paying, I'm sure the fees are crazy. I would want those places not to be, I wouldn't want the riffraff getting into my properties. It's really, really nice.
Yeah. So 100%. I think it's a cool and interesting acquisition, blending a very private members club with a still exclusive and high end, but a public facing brand like OneFineStay. So I like it. The leading shareholder at Exclusive Resorts is a guy named Steve Case, who is the AOL founder. So I don't think they have plans to go public. They enjoy the aspects of being a private members club and having private revenues. But I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out long term, and if this leads to them acquiring more real estate, or if this leads to more of a public push.
Well, speaking of public pushes and interesting shifts, I would say the opposite is happening with Inspirato. So you have one company going more exclusive resort, private, club membership, and the other moving away from it, going into more building a platform and becoming more technology, because we're technology-driven hospitality, right, guys? That's how we do it here. So Inspirato is to merge with Buyerlink in a $326 million deal for a new platform. I don't know if one company is seeing writing on the wall and going all in with it, or if one is not. So yeah, one company going opposite direction, the other going into a more technology direction. I would love to know if this is like what we expect, or even like, does this make sense? Are we am I missing a dot connection here?
I thought that too. I was looking, I was like, I Googled Buyerlink, and then I was like, is this the right company? And even in the article, it goes, it is not an obvious fit. And so, but taking chances in like a company that has been successful in these more like auction platform based websites, and applying that to, Inspirato, which has also been kind of publicly struggling. And I think that you're right. These are two sides of like where the industry is going. One is doubling down on luxury, which traditionally does well even in hard times. And the other is trying to make their platform, more successful, more available, more tech forward. And that's kind of the other side. In the middle just gets kind of erased, I think.
Yeah. And sometimes you buy companies for their cash flow. And
there's also
it might not make full sense, but if it keeps your core business or the business that you're passionate about alive, and you can cash flow the rest of the way, then I'd be shocked if anybody in the vacation rental industry has heard of Buyerlink before.
Yeah.
So it's
the hotel. I'd be surprised if anyone listening to this show has been understands who Buyerlink is or heard of him.
Totally out of left field. But the reasoning that the CEO of Inspirato is giving is it helps them become experts in digital marketing and building marketplaces. And Inspirato, I think, has had an identity crisis over the past 8 years or so. They were a club like Exclusive Resorts. They didn't own the inventory like Exclusive Resorts, to the best of my memory. But now, they are shifting more public facing. They were part of the SPAC surge back in the SPAC craze that Sonder was also caught up in. But
SPAC babies.
They're SPAC babies, Vacasa as well. But I think if they do ultimately turn Inspirato into a luxury OTA with the expertise of Buyerlink and building it on the backs of Buyerlink's cash flows, then there could be some logic behind it.
So the addition of yet another platform. So how do you guys, we talk so much about the OTAs, and you have the big boys, Expedia, Booking, Airbnb, how do you see these other platforms? Like, do you feel confident that there's room for more platforms and OTAs out there?
I'll say I like the way Michael phrased this one. I would feel confident in this becoming an OTA. I would feel confident in Vacasa becoming an OTA, because I know Steve kind of mentioned that with that brand, like it's already bringing in such great traffic. It would be a shame to kill it, right? So that makes sense. There's already audience and eyeballs, but starting a new one, heck no. I would be the customer acquisition, the growth at all costs, and the way that you really only can make money is by having that audience. And if you don't have the audience, you might as well not waste your time by getting inventory. That's my opinion, because it's just it's a huge like chicken or the egg game. And right now the audience is key. So if you're going to be a channel, you need to be a good channel. You need to have good eyeballs. You need to have spending eyeballs that actually convert to bookings. And if you don't, your inventory is going to look at you as a chopping block, basically. So Brandy, I know you put your tech stack on the chopping block a lot. I think brands and operators should also be putting their OTAs on the chopping block. If it's not worth your time to manage and upkeep, and you're not getting the eyeballs and traffic and the bookings and conversions, why waste your time? I'm in that mode. Why waste your time and energy right now? We all have wasted a lot of time and energy throughout the couple of years of craziness. And so why continue to do more if it's not worth it? So know your value. Yeah, stick up for it.
On the luxury side, yes, I do think there's space for a clear winner. I don't think there's a clear winner on the luxury OTA side. Luxury Retreats was, Airbnb brought them in, and I would assume most travelers and people in our industry don't necessarily associate luxury or standards or consistency and quality with Airbnb. And that's where the window of opportunity is. Airbnb ate up so much market share. They've left a hole in the luxury side by buying Luxury Retreats.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Also, like the 100%. The Lux badge, like I don't think that different. Like, no, I don't know if that really makes a difference. People might notice, oh, this is like a nicer house, but I don't know if they associate now those Lux listings with that consistency that you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, Robin Cragen even posted on LinkedIn a while ago. He stayed at a luxury like property on Airbnb. It wasn't one of those like said they're Lux, it was under the Lux category, and it was a horrible experience. Like the hot tub was gross and dirty. Like they said that there was a couple maintenance issues, and the people basically just responded saying like, all right, we'll fix it once you check out. Thanks for letting us know. And it's just like, okay, for a luxury house and experience, that is not the service. So I think, yeah, Michael, you made a great point. They left a huge gap with the acquisition of luxury retreats.
And that's where you got to give kudos to OneFineStay for not growing beyond 7,000 properties. You got to keep your standards high. And as soon as you start degrading that, then you degrade the brand. So, I think there is room and opportunity for the luxury segment. Jury's very much out as to who's going to fill it, though.
Yeah.
So
great question, Brandy.
Congrats to Exclusive Resorts, OneFineStay, Inspirato, and the mysterious Buyerlink.
Yes, honestly, it'll be cool to see what they do. This is like something new. So best of luck, positive vibes their way. Let's see what kind of interesting things they can build.
Yeah, 100%. Great question, Brandy. For the listeners, I would love to know if you think either you agree with any of us or if you have your own opinion. I would love to know. But yeah, really interesting times. And I'm I need to get like my whiteboard ready for like all the stories we just need to follow and always like revisit. Like, okay, like let's check on this one. How are they doing? Are they still doing okay? So Buyerlink is going on the whiteboard right now.
Also, I really can't wait for our end of the year wrap.
Oh yeah.
We just see like all our predictions and things like that. I mean, I feel like so much has already happened this year. We're like halfway through. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the back half of this year.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like this first 6 months are already a year. So it's been fun.
I feel that.
It's
been a decade since COVID, right?
It's been a decade since January.
Yeah. So good to see you guys on this Friday. For the listeners on Monday, anything you're excited about? Obviously Mexico City is a big one for us, September 10th through the 12th, but anything else on the docket? Or is it, as we like to say, I can't wait to surprise you guys with a shirt where I just stand up and go, same old. But
the mysterious merch.
Yeah, the mysterious merch is coming. It's coming. I promise. Pre-order now.
There's things at play, but we'll stick with same old response for now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As a new show host, you guys are killing me. But I love it. For all of our listeners, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, if you're watching on the live, we're sorry we're not live engaging, but we appreciate you as well. And for everyone else, we'll see you on the next one.